A very good evening to one and all. We thank everyone who's taken out time today to be a part of this powerful episode. This is our episode number 22. We welcome everyone to the room today. Happy Hotelier Club was conceptualized in January 2020. It's a brainchild of 3 passionate hoteliers with the purpose of bringing out hoteliers on a common forum of communication and exchange of ideas on industry-related issues, new trends, and practices being followed to enhance business and support each other. It's a perfect place for any hotelier to come together and interact, share, rediscover his own self, and may also be useful for sourcing the right vendors. Our vision: to be the world's first and best platform for hoteliers to provide happier ways of networking, learning, and exchange of ideas. Our core team: Ashish Gupta, he's a hotelier and a chief operating officer for HHC. Dheeraj Agarwal, strategist and IT expert, chief technical officer for HHC. Myself, I'm a branding and a PR expert, chief demonstration officer for HHC. Just to introduce Mr. Grish Bindra and Mr. Himmat Anand, they are on our advisory board. Mr. Grish Bindra has about 35 years of experience in travel and hospitality industry. Currently, he's the Vice President Operations at the Surya, New Delhi, and a passionate hotelier and a wonderful personality. As such, his name is famous across the industry, and he's amongst the most lovable and approachable, I would say, amongst all the foreign guests who want to come back just because of him to the respective properties he is in. Himmat Anand, he's a daydreamer. He left his corporate world in 2007. He was Chief Operating Officer, India and South Asia, Kyoni Destination Management. He then pursued his decades-old dream and launched the Tree of Life Resorts and Hotels in 2010, which today operates in about 8 locations and 3 more scheduled for the coming year. We're just going to be starting the real discussion, but just take a minute and spare a minute for us on Facebook. And if you can just like us, facebook.com/Happy Hotelier Club. Just to take you through, from 28th March, we've been doing episodes consistently till now, and this is our 22nd episodes. We've been touching on various points which the hospitality industry really needed to know as takeaways and implement in their systems. If you missed any of our episodes, of course, we have all our recording links on YouTube and also Facebook. So you can always subscribe to our channel on YouTube and also look about us on our website and Facebook. Today's episode, most powerful episode, I think, in the past 2 to 3 months, which we have done, because this is the need of the hour. So what will you gain from this episode when you finish with us after 8:30? You will definitely take home 3 things which a hotel website can do today to get revenue: how to balance your relationship between an online travel agent and a direct business, driving into your system, strategies for social media to generate the room nights, how to train today's hotel teams to be able to get digitally ready, which is very important, importance of local SEO and the messaging, how it has changed over time, especially over these few months, do's and don'ts of marketing messages in hotels today. So we have 4 guest speakers today. Abhijit Arya, I think the whole industry knows him. He's the founder of Internet Mughals. Ranjita Shaw, Darshini Ashok, and Somali Bajpai. So I will just briefly introduce Mr. Arya. Mr. Arya had joined his dad's business at the age of 20, and he came across this new phenomenon called the internet. And a few years' time, the business went 4x because he was known to run boutique hotels in India. He then ventured into a tour agency and affiliate travel websites, which were amongst India's top 3 and won him many, many awards. And this was all before the age of 30. He was the one who actually went steps ahead at that time when he had a monopoly in that area of digital marketing and launched Internet Mughals. And Internet Mughals worldwide today handles more than 300 properties and it is a huge team. He started with 4 members, and today he has about 225 moguls, as he calls it, his team members as, in his offices worldwide. His Monday night coaching webinars has over 1,500 people flocking to it. And of course, if you hear his introduction, is very, very exciting. I think that is the best to hear from his own, own self. But yes, he's a trainer. He's a passionate coach. He has running programs all over the world, and he has people flocking in his programs back to back. So I welcome Mr. Arya to the episode.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ranjita Shaw, she's currently heading public relations and communications for Rosiat Hotels and Resorts, which is a boutique luxury hospitality chain with 6 niche hotels across India and also 1 in UK. She has been, I would say she's a woman of versatile talent, not just professionally, but also in terms of her hobbies. She's managed communications for Ice Skate in India, which she launched and managed. And of course, because she's a part of the Bird Group, she's managed iRide, which is Segway Experiences, both brands under Bird Hospitality. She started her career in Johannesburg in South Africa with Hyatt Regency after completing her bachelor's degree in commerce. When she came back to India, she was a part of Hyatt Regency Delhi and followed by Taj Hotels and Resorts as her last organization. At Rosiat, she has played a very, very impactful role in the launch of the hospitality brand and at the AeroCity Hotel, and then forthcoming, after that, she had series of hotels which she had to launch under that same brand. She's rebranded her beautiful resort, the Rosiat, because earlier it was Dusit Devrana, and she has immense amount of experience to share with all of us today. Welcome, Ranjita.
Thanks so much, Tarun. Thanks.
Darshini, she's a visual communications graduate her career spans over 9 years, and she started off her career in the creative world of advertising. She kick-started her career assisting an art director in a globally acclaimed advertising agency, TBWA, India, and worked with brands like Sifi, the New Indian Express, and Inbisco, to name a few. She's been with the park for more than 7 years now, and now she's heading Park Chennai as Director of Public Relations. During her experience with the Park Chennai, she has had the opportunity of implementing many ideas, dynamic ideas, out-of-the-box ideas. She's promoted several innovative, cutting-edge concepts and contributed to the positioning of the brand. We welcome you, Darshini.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Somali Bajpai. She is an alumni of Indian Institute of Masscom, currently heading brand and communications with the Crown Plaza, Okhla. She's also taking care of Crown Plaza, Gurugram. She's a very, very passionate PR and social media expert, and she's implemented a lot of out-of-box ideas in her current hotel, which she's going to be really putting forth and sharing with all of us today. She's a hands-on person, and she's won many awards. In 2018, she got featured in the list of top 30 under 30 PR professionals in India by PR Moments. Welcome you, Somali.
Thank you so much. Very thrilled to be the part of this panel.
Thank you. Thank you. So coming straight to the topic for today, the digital space, yesterday, present, and in future. So friends, the digital space is a very, very dynamic space because what it used to be is not today, and what it is currently will not or might not stay in future. So all you have to do is be with the times, be dynamic, evolve yourself, keep watching the space and changing your communication to internal and external stakeholders. So till the month of January, of course, our communication strategies, we all know, was a certain type of strategies, right? And maybe tactics to drive business was very different. But with the jolt of COVID, things have overnight changed and we've evolved with it. That's a beautiful part because hospitality has really evolved with it with the times. And I know, some things might stay, some things might need more dynamism as we go along, right? And this is something with, I would say, all these communication heads and Abhijit Arya, they all have had a lot of experience in this, which they will be sharing with the forum today. So in this medium, of course, you have to be very creative, you have to be effective, you have to be communicative, you have to be real time, you have to reach out to all your stakeholders with the right communication messages, right? At the same time, what is happening in hospitality is our skill development has become just very, very important today, because the same skill set will not remain the need of the hour in times to come, because multi-skilling is going to be key. Every hotel is working on skeletal stuff. We need to add value to what we are having right now in terms of skill set. So how are you going to be trained, for the dynamism in the digital world? Your imagery, your expectation of your clients is all changed, because the consumer behavior has changed. So need is to reduce the way we message, but we have to do effective message. How much your dependency on OTAs has to be, what percentage you have to depend on OTAs and get direct website, I would say the sales traffic. These are all the pain points which I think every sales and marketing and front office revenue head is going through. So we will be all throwing light to each and every point today. So just to start, I think we will take up the first question with Avijit.
Sure.
Just give me a minute. Yeah. So Avijit, you've been into this space for quite a long time now, and you've seen how revenue generation has evolved. And keeping in mind the current times, the hacks of actually building the revenue in a hotel. Whether it's through the hotel website or likewise. So I would like to know, what are the three things which a hotel website should do today to get revenue from the website? So what is the key role which a website is going to play?
Right. No, so that's a very important, pertinent question. So I always say that the shortest distance between two human hearts is always a story. We're trying to get more guests into our hotels. We're trying to get more customers from different parts of the world and different parts of India to hear about us and see us more than just a commodity and just a price. For that, we need to connect hearts. To connect hearts, we need to tell stories. And therefore, the number one advice that I give to all hoteliers is that your website should tell the story of the brand. Now, I'll give you an example of what kind of stories are being told today versus what kind of stories are becoming successful today. So a couple of years back, I'd gone for a meeting. I was in Canada. I was meeting a client. It was a resort property. So they asked me to check in early in the morning. So I reached there at about 5:36 in the morning, and they gave me the husband and wife were both there. They were about 150 room resort hotel on the beach, beautiful resort. The husband and wife both gave me a nice breakfast, and it was such a multi cuisine breakfast. So they said that both of us met when we were in university, and after that we took 2 years off, and for 24 months we traveled all over the world. That's when both of us learned how to cook. And while they were talking to me about cooking, she was like, oh, he still doesn't know how to cook. And she's like, I'm a better cook. So they were talking about that. So they said, whatever we've learned, that's how, the whole world is in our cuisine, because that's what we've learned. Then they told me about the kind of people that they met, the experiences that they had. And accordingly, they had shaped their hotel based on what they know about Canada, what they know about America, what they know about Greece, Italy. So their travels, in their travels, they learned about different personalities and different countries and what they like. And that's how they made an international hotel and all of that. And very interesting. I was looking at their journey and their story and all of that. We finished the breakfast, then they rushed me to the boardroom where they had the entire team sitting over there, and they put on the presentation and they said, okay, now we want to tell you about our hotel. Our hotel is a 150 room property. We have an elevator which stops on, stops on VIP floors, and we have butler service. And I was like, hang on. The story that you told me outside was a way more interesting story that you're telling me here. Everybody knows the kind of beds I have. If I want to find out what quality of linen that your bed is you're using and all of that, I'll find out if I need to know. But I need to know the story of behind the brand. So my number one thing is that to connect with more people, a brand needs to tell a story. Number one. And this is one example of the kind of story. Number two, there are three stakeholders on a website that you can use to tell stories. It could be the brand itself. Obviously, the brand has a story, how is it formed, and all of that. The people who are working there, the general manager, the chef, the stewards, the front office manager, all of them have a lifestyle. They get up the chef gets up in the morning at 5 o'clock. They've got a VIP guest coming in. He'll go at 5 o'clock. He'll go and pick up his own, vegetables. Why and how he picks them up. And while he's doing that, his kids are calling him, "Daddy, you didn't drop me to school today." "Yeah, I'm really sorry. Tomorrow I'll definitely drop you to school. Today this happened." And then he rushes to work and he motivates his team and he asks them. One of his junior chefs has a problem in his internal, in his life, personal life, and he talks to him and then he motivates them and he gets them ready for the thing and eventually prepares the meal and everything goes okay. Now, instead of just using food shots like most of us are using, just food shots and all of that, if I give a story of how the chef's day was and what he did to prepare, those are stories that will engage more people. So that's one idea. The other thing is stories of our guests. When guests come in, they have a story. He took off from Canada and the flight didn't take off because it was snowing, so he had to be rerouted to Frankfurt. He had to spend one night over there, and wife had to take a different flight. Both of them went on two different flights, and they were traveling with their two kids. So eventually they met in Mumbai and they came to your hotel. They have a story. When they reached the hotel, it was snowing in Kashmir as well, or wherever they were. It was in India. It was late at night, but guess what? The person from XYZ hotel, from Park Hotel or any of Oberoi Hotel or Taj Hotel, that gentleman was there. He understood. He checked that the flights were getting late. He was right there. He understands. We are empathetic. So we are empathetic as human beings. Our stories allow us to tell guests what to expect from us. So stories of the brand, story of the people working in the brand, and finally the story of the guests. A hotel website needs to tell stories. The number one thing that a hotel website needs is, let me talk technically in terms of Google. Google says, I am in the business of making money through ads. So I will show you either on search engine or my ads based on how many of my customers like you. If my customers don't like you, I'll show somebody else's ad and I'll show some. That's the business that Google is in. So how do we first send a message to Google saying, instead of going to all the big websites, send people to my website? When somebody comes on your website, there are many metrics, and I don't want to make it too technical, but the first metric that Google looks at is time spent on the website. Google doesn't know what is the what you're talking about yet. Many things they're going to find out very soon. But the time spent on the website. So what do I do so that people come to my website and they spend more time? I need to have stories, and stories happen through videos. A short video, short of different types of guests, different people, that is the behind the scenes that today's audience is looking for in the website. As the communication follows, I can talk about many other points, technical, what to do on the website, what kind of picture, how the landing page is tracked, what Google is tracking. I'll come back to those questions. But the first few things I wanted to mention was that every hotelier here must remember one thing: the shortest distance between two human hearts is a story. जितनी कहानियां सुनाओगे, उतने guests को engage करोगे, उतने लोग आपकी website पे ज़्यादा रुकेंगे. जितना वो ज़्यादा रुकेंगे, then they'll be like, I like this. Let me go check out the price. Once you've heard the story of a hotel, then you check out a price. Then there is no price war of 500 or 1,000 rupees. Then I've connected with the brand. So that's my take on the first question.
That's great. I think a myth has been broken because there has been people who have been saying, okay, kaun padega itna lamba stories. So now here you're saying,
videos.
Okay.
Videos.
Okay, all right.
Videos.
Okay.
Video stories.
Sure. So that is opening up. Yeah, that's great.
Karan, I would like to pitch in here.
Yeah,
there
please.
are three things that I wish to highlight when it comes to the website. So during the lockdown, all the IHG hotels, we took the initiative of identifying the gaps that there are in our websites and how can we utilize this time to update our content and make it more interactive. So the couple of things that we did were, first of all, we have created a section called wow highlights that comes on the front page of our website. Now, the idea is that as soon as a person comes to the website shouldn't look drab. There has to be something exciting, some nice pictures. So the highlights that we talk about are not just the regular features, but there are 5 experiences of the property. Say it's not just a wedding, but a feras by the poolside. It's not just an al fresco, but if it's a winters, it's a barbecue night. So this way, a guest gets more engaged. Similarly, on the top, we have a limited time feature. Now, the entire exercise is so that anybody who comes to the website sees the currently running promotions or the upcoming promotions right at the top. The second thing is to have better content, because this is something a lot of hotel fail. There is redundancy in the content. The blocks are not complete, the menus may be missing, the pictures may be missing. For example, if a person is booking room and if the pictures are missing, then there is a gap that needs to be identified. Then the third thing is the virtual tours. Now, it's not just about the pictures with the video-centric content that we are talking about. It's also very important to have that 3D element, the virtual tours, how it would feel if a person enters the property is very important. So it's very important to have the interactivity element in the website. Otherwise, it will look like any other directory.
That's true. So overall, whatever you said, and Avijit, of course, shared and advocated very strongly on the micro videos, which are interactive and which create a story around any proposition which you're picking up, right? And that creates emotions, that creates interactive energy, and I would say synergy also. So it binds the consumer and your company as a brand, right? So anything, Ranjita, you want to add, or Darshini, you want to add related to it?
Yeah,
Before we go to the next question?
They both actually covered it very beautifully. Now, very interestingly, how Abhi said every hotel should have a story. Roseate Hotels and Resorts, we actually have it written, and we say that every hotel and our resort has a story to tell. So if you go to Roseate House, each floor is actually a story, and the hotel is a book, and its rooms are its chapters. So when the guest hears this, or when you tell the guest this, obviously it gives them a different experience, because they've never felt this before when they enter any other hotel or resort. Similarly, video content, very interestingly put. Our attention span has gone so low. I mean, after Goldfish, which was 9 seconds, the human has now beaten it by 8 seconds. So, of course, I would say video content now plays a major role, and our shift has also gone from, merely putting posts, then now creating more video, even if it's a 30-second video or a 40-second video. Try and showcase every experience that you want to showcase, whether it's, you're under the stars dining, a romantic dinner, or a staycation at the Lakeview pool room. It's best showcased in a video content for sure. So yes, I totally endorse that.
Right. Thank you. Darshini, do you have anything to add to what the ladies said and Avijit said?
Well, I think all of them have pretty much covered everything. But again, I'd like to reiterate, like how Mr. Arya had mentioned about storytelling. Unless we tell stories, our guests don't have much to look forward to, and it just remains a theme or left to the interpretation of a guest. So the Park Chennai, for example,
so I'm sure Park. Yeah, please carry on. Sorry.
So the Park Chennai is built on the erstwhile Gemini Film Studios, and the theme of the hotel is basically cinema. So you see movie posters, original movie posters all around the hotel, inside the rooms, in the corridors, and everywhere pretty much. And a lot of guests wonder what these posters are doing down the room corridors or inside the rooms. So we've realized that when we tell people the story, then they realize that it's not just a piece of art, or it's not just a movie poster, but it's an original movie poster from the Gemini Film Studios. So it holds so much more value, and it gives a guest so much more to look forward to when they're exploring around the hotel. So, and of course,
That's
like they
right.
mentioned about video content, of course, it's the need of the hour. And like Ranjita mentioned, consumers have a very short time span, attention span. So it's about how much you can capture in a micro video and how much you can communicate your brand story or your brand beliefs or your brand's values through that tiny video.
True, true. So that's nice, because until and unless you don't have a story, whether it is through a thematic story or a real story, which Avijit pointed out, and you don't kind of build it around it, your videos or your content is not built around it, it doesn't create any kind of connection with your consumer, right? And that brings your people, I would say the traffic comes in, the amount of time he spends on your website, that is created, and so on and so forth. So now we move on to the next question, which is again a very, very talk of the times, not just today, but was forever a very, very important talking point. OTAs. So online travel agents, we all use in our hotels, right? And vis-a-vis the direct business. So OTAs versus direct business. How kind of, we should build a relationship between OTA and direct business. So Mr. Arya, probably you can throw light, and then, we can take it further from there.
Sure. So I've got multiple views on this. So I definitely find OTAs a very solid partnership to have, because the kind of reach OTA might have in, say, Australasia or in North America, I may not have the budget as a single standalone property to be able to market through paid ads all over the world. So if I'm a 75 room property and I have 50,000 rupees to spend on Google ads, I can either spend it in India or I can spend it all over the world. I don't have even if there's business, I can't spend it all over the world. So I can say my direct clients from India are coming through my own ads, and I can use the OTA for my reach to other parts of the world. Like Agoda has Southeast Asia, and Booking.com has all over the world, but primarily a lot of Europe. And so I can see where I'm going to get business from and what I'm going to get direct. That's one way of looking at it. The other thing is that, like any other partner, if you have nothing and I'm doing everything for you, I will continue to ask you for more. And that's what many OTAs do. The thing is, because many of us have built nothing. When I say nothing, means our own digital assets have not been built. Today, I have sat on many hospitality boards and many deals happening of hotels, around the world. And, and I've seen today your digital assets are valued at sometimes the same or a higher price than your hotel asset. For example, if your hotel is 500 crores, the asset, the building and all of that, your digital asset based on the revenue your website is generating is another 50 crores.
Awesome.
But it depends on how much business you're generating from your website. That is the digital asset that needs to be built over time, which will give recurring direct business. Now, I'll tell you one more way of how the OTS work and what we should do as well. To be able to have a healthy competition. So for example, I run a Google or Facebook ad and I say 3 ways to fix your next, instead of saying 3 nights 4 days book at my hotel 4,500/3,500. If you're in a price war, it's a commodity war, and a price war is obviously a race to the bottom. We all know it. So what kind of ads are working in my experience? 3 ways of getting the best out of this upcoming long weekend if you're a golfer. Now, I know Mr. Girish Bindra is a golfer. I know he has 20 other friends. I've got for example, if I'm marketing a golf resort and I want him to come, I can go to Facebook and I can target golf lovers. I can target people who are at a certain seniority in their field. I can target people who are living in NCR, and Mr. Bindra and his friends will see my ad and they will click on it. for somebody else who just is going crazy and wants to get away from, work from home, wants to get away into the hills, and I have something in the hills, I'll show a different ad to a different person. Now, I can do several ads for my same room property based on other people's interests. But just for the sake of this example, let's take one ad is for Mr. Girish Bindra, who's a golfing enthusiast, and for somebody else who loves, to take their kids and come out for a swimming pool and, maybe only less than 100 kilometers from Delhi. So two people are looking at my ad right now. Now they could click the ad, see the little story I have and all of that. And then they're busy because, they're going for Taran's HHC conference and they skip my ad. Now I'm remarketing them with a different ad. And I'm saying we are now so he saw the ad 4 days before the long weekend. Now I'm saying we're 2 days to the long weekend. And I wanted to tell you the tee off already happened today. And Saturday morning tee off happened at 6:30 with a hot cup of tea. Are you still joining us? Because we have only 4 rooms left. And to the other lady who's coming with her children, I want to show a different thing. Enough for working. Now that you've decided to take your kids away, because she saw my ad, because I made an ad only for that lady with 2 kids. Now that you've decided to get away, take the plunge, come in. And what we're going to do is that we have a babysitting service for your kids. So wait no more, click on this to see the offer. And then we talk about the price. So what I've done is I've created 2 separate pieces of communication and then 2 separate pieces of communication for the remarketing as well. Now, some golfers will come in, some of these work from home, mommies will come in. Now, as I'm building this database of golfers, mommies, businessmen and all of that, say, for example, I have 5,000 golfers in my database because this ad is being seen by people. They click on the ad, they give me their email address. I'm building that database. Now I can go back to Facebook and Google and say, this database, I enter it saying golfers who are interested in my hotel. And I save that database under that name. Then I can upload that database into Facebook and ask Facebook to give me a lookalike audience. Facebook, these are 5,000 people that I found on Facebook and you targeted them. Can you get me 5,000 more people who are fitting a similar profile and show my ad to them? This is called a lookalike audience. Facebook will then go and show a lookalike audience to them. And so during this customer journey of continuous remarketing to one type of guest, right? मैं सिंपल सी बात कहता हूँ, हम लोग किसी के घर जाते हैं and हमारे जो value system है, हम कभी किसी के घर जाते हैं तो we talk to different people differently. हम अब वो दादा दादी किसी के घर, you going to your mama ji's house for dinner, you touch उनके पाँव छूते हो आप, उनके parents के उनके बेटे को आप you hug him and say क्या हाल है, और उनका जो छोटा बच्चा होता है उसको बोल रहे हो क्या खेल रहा है आजकल, PS4 पे नई गेम आई है. So when we go to a family, we have different ways of communicating with different people. But when we show an ad on Facebook to be able to attract a person to us, we are showing one communication to the entire family with all varied interests, and it does not work. Number one. Number 2, when I remarket to Mama Ji, for example, I know I'm asking him, or what. So I'm again going and saying, hello, how are you? I just kaise. Abhi to mile 2 minute pehle. Same ads, same communication. If all of you people have seen that movie 50 First Dates, where the person forgets everything and next day you have to be reminded of the same thing again. That's what most of the hotel ads do. हमने एक बार ad दिखाया, अगले दिन हम फिर से वही ad दिखा रहे. Oh, I know who you are. Now next day start a different communication. Say how are you, because yesterday we've already introduced each other. Carry forward the conversation. So point number 1, different communication for different stakeholders, decision makers. Point number 2, a different remarketing ad, and never stop your remarketing ad for the entire year. Keep following people with the remarketing ad. You will come to a break-even point when you will say, I showed an ad for 15 days and I got a customer. I showed an ad for 3 days and I got a customer. My ad cost of acquisition was maybe 1,500 rupees for a room of 5,000 rupees. Slowly it will come down to 1,900, 800. And that's when you start building up your direct business. When the direct business goes up, then you can say, OTA is my friend. You don't need to worry about anybody. He's giving you your business. You've got your business. That's how I look at this whole game.
That's the right way, actually. But I think in the hotels, we follow a very, very simple way, so to speak. And it's more of a comfortable way of working, just create one ad and show it to all your TG and over show the same thing. So I think it's time for us to be a little more, go deeper into segmentation, customer profiling, and touch him on various things with different look and feel so that he stays engaged with you. Otherwise, one ad becomes very monotonous as well,
See,
and the life cycle of the customer, I think, is very, very important, because what we do is we have a set of data. We are not able to get the complete juice out of it, and we go out to hunt for new data. So remarketing is not
that's it.
happening. Remarketing is not happening to the real customer who's been with us, because that life cycle has to be really looked at.
100%.
Yeah.
And I've seen, some of the work that, Ranjita and her team and Somali and, Darshini, all of these people are doing in their projects. But we're all marketing and communication and PR people. My message mostly goes out to the other people in the hospitality team, the senior management or whatever, who are making decisions to come for more HHC type of events, to learn the whole ecosystem of what is this digital. Because hoteliers are running multi-million-dollar businesses and they know everything about everything. So digital is very easy for them to learn. My only submission to hoteliers has always been, for the last 10 years, so 10 years back, I used to tell everybody, 10 साल पहले और अभी में क्या फर्क है कि whenever there's a hospitality event, at the end of the third day, there is a half-an-hour session for digital marketing. तब तक सब लोग जा चुके होते हैं. Especially there's no senior decision maker. Today's digital marketing has come to first day one, so I'm very happy, and then senior management is still there, and we've not, so that's right, this thing. But if that is something that can become 20% of your revenue, my submission always is, every hospitality professional should enroll in a digital marketing course. Then you don't need an agency to tell you what to do. Then you will use your common sense, hotel experience, and once you know the possibilities and opportunities available, then you can guide your own strategy.
Yeah, that is true. And that actually sort of answers our, another question which we had decided on, that it's so important to train the hotel teams, to be able to get digitally ready. So that is a need of the hour, not just the teams, but the senior management. So I think everything maybe starts from top to bottom as well. But individually also, we as a team, any levels we are on, we need to learn this added skill, because that's the most important skill today. And this
100%.
pandemic is a blessing in a way, because this helps us to add to our skills. And unless we are not, better than our colleagues, we are not ready for a newer job or newer systems of working in the current properties also. Because in the current properties also, you need multi-scaling.
Yeah.
So I think, Abhijit, you will second that, yeah?
Yeah, I'll come to that, but I'm just also waiting to learn from the experiences of the other co-panelists on how they using all of this.
So Ranjita, you wanted to say something, right?
Absolutely. Training is so important, because just like how we said, we're doing it, but then what about the rest? How
your voice is breaking, Ranjita.
They understand what we're actually promoting and what we're hearing. Hello?
Your voice is breaking.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah, now you're fine.
Okay. No, so I'm saying, how important it is, because you have the back-end team. You have like a chief engineer, you have the finance head, you have the front office team, and especially the operations team, who are so important because they meet guests. But if they don't know, if they're not aware about all the social media platforms, what I started off when I joined, Rosie, I'll just tell you my experience, because that's how I can explain better. In 2016, what I would do is, after every morning meeting on a Thursday or a Friday, I would sit with all the HODs, and I would start with, first of all, asking them, do you have a Facebook account? And, everyone had a Facebook account. So the first step was to get them to post publicly of a certain, promotion, to get them the hang of it. Then, the shift went to Twitter to retweet. So then they understood what a retweet was, and, how we could actually set a trend on Twitter.
Right.
And then obviously came LinkedIn, where, they could reshare the posts from our official page or something that I would have shared. And then came Instagram, which was the hardest all because of the hashtag usage, and then explaining them. But eventually also reposting, especially on LinkedIn and on Facebook. So
Ranjita,
I think
you're
you'll have to,
cracking.
we
Your
the
voice
communications
is
team,
cracking.
or can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Sorry, hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry. So I think as the communications person, every public relations or communications person of the hotel needs to take initiative herself or himself, and start it off from the morning meetings on a lighter day. Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
Right.
Because everyone is so bogged down with today we have this and that, and everyone's going to be caught up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday works best because everyone's there. Saturday, you may have a weekly off. So you might miss out on some important key people.
Sure.
Right.
Tarun, I'd like to add
Sure, please.
from my experience at the Park Hotel in Chennai, we kind of formed, a team, and there's so much information online about employee advocacy and all of that. So we kind of formed a team initially with a set of young minds. We felt that the young people knew, and could possibly inspire the older people. Not that it's an age related thing, but it's just something that we thought we could really sit with the young ones and really, come up with new trends that they were aware of, and just to build that kind of engagement within the team itself to get them interested in something like this. And then of course we had several trainings, and what Ranjita said was absolutely right. Like, I took it upon myself, I would say, to kind of take trainings, teach a chief engineer or a front office head how to repost or reshare, which was something so easy for us and so obvious to us, but something that wasn't very easy for a third person. So teaching them these little things and getting them familiarized with these things, and then making it as easy as posting it on a common WhatsApp group where they have an artwork, they have customized sizes for Instagram and Twitter and everything else, the captions and hashtags given to them. So it just made it that much more easier. And there's some kind of standardization with content as well. So in that sense, it made it more easy, and we saw a huge jump, and we saw a lot more employees kind of pitching in and wanting to share stuff, asking if they didn't get content. So that's something that really worked well for us at the Park Chennai, and I thought I must share it.
Great. So now we move on,
And we have some problem, I think.
Of course, we've come to know that how internally the teams have really brushed up themselves first, and then gone ahead to share various things with the internal stakeholders. So, am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, now you.
Yes,
Am I?
you are.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, that of course we have just gathered from the team here, the panel here, that we have brushed ourselves already with the times, and now gone ahead to address what we know with the internal stakeholders. So that is a good thing, because at least we are kind of taking them together in terms of spreading the communication messages forward. So now, going ahead, we've also realized that in the digital space, especially the social media, which has been playing a big role now during the pandemic. Of course, all your communication has gone to the next level. You've spruced up your communication, to these stakeholders, the external stakeholders, which includes big time your consumers, because you had to actually communicate to them, and you're still doing that. So how has it changed and evolved with the changing consumer behavior? We are seeing the consumer behavior, consumer patterns also changing. So how is that happening? If Sonali can just throw light on that.
All right.
Somali, can you
So-
just share something on that?
Yes. First of all, one thing which is very important is, though initially there was a common perception that, morning 8 to 10 when people are going to office, and evening 5 to 7 when people are actually coming back from office was actually the best time to post, because that's the time they scroll their mobile phones and they see okay, what's being posted, what's there online. But now all of this scenario has changed, and because of that it is very important for us to go back to our pages, see our insights, evaluate what time is best for posting, because a lot of people are working from home, their schedules, their all patterns have changed. So it's very important to keep revisiting all these our Instagram insights, our Facebook insights, and figure out what time is best for posting. Secondly, with all of pandemic happen, there are a lot of guidelines from the government. We all talk about social distancing, so the same things need to be reflected on your social media profiles as well. When I say that, for example, if you are showcasing employees, it is very important that it's not an overcrowded picture. Or for example, if I'm posting something about the wedding, we should make sure that it's not, we use some symbolic pictures. So imagery here is very important. If I show 10 to 12 people in a particular frame, so this is something that we need to work out from the imagery perspective as well. Now, one thing which I personally feel that as hospitality industry, we are not really experimenting. While I understand that every brand has a certain personality, has a certain target audience, but the way FMCG brands are experimenting with their social media content, hospitality has still been all about posting a very pretty picture and then writing 3 beautiful lines about it. Now I feel, because nobody comes online to see on the face advertisements, so they come to see some inspiring content, something which is very entertaining, and your message should be somewhat integrated in the entire fun concept or entire interesting concept, so that a person consumes the message even before realizing it. For example, as soon as the lockdown got over and we got permission to host wedding of 50 people, so instead of posting every day about, say, host a wedding for 50 people, plan your wedding with us, what I did was I did a series of tips and suggestions of what kind called the intimate wedding project. So every day I came up with a new idea. How can people plan? We can help people plan their weddings with such an intimate guest list. For example, instead of a buffet, we could have an assisted buffet, or probably we could have a seated dinner. Or for example, instead of, there could be a point where we could have bands for the people, where people can outrightly express their comfort level. Or how, so the entire idea is to keep the content little interactive. There's something for the audience to, because it's like you get only 1 second to attract a person and then they miss the post. So it's very important to keep the content inspiring and innovative and different from your competition set as well.
That's right.
And also Instagram stories. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back now.
So, so what I'm saying is communication, which is interactive, engaging, video, centric, and which can have some emotional connect with your consumers, is a way to. Am I right? That's what you meant to say, right? Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So I think we move ahead, and Mr. Avijit Arya wanted to say something because probably he needs to step out for some engagement. So
No, I have about 20-25 minutes. I
Okay,
just
cool.
wanted to say to everybody over here that because we talk about videos and we talk about what to do with videos and how to use them and all of them. So like everything else in life, the simplest of things require a structure. Creating a good physique, creating a good business, studying or whatever. So for the HHC community, I've got a small gift for all of you people, which is a short program, which I'm just going to put the link to that in the comment section right now. You can all download it. It's absolutely, it's a 60-minute sort of how to make videos, what kind of videos to make, what equipment to use with videos. I've never made videos. My team has never made videos. I'm shy. So it's a short guide, which I hope will inspire all of you people to say, continue to make videos, because that's what's going to change the way that your personal, all of you people are hospitality professionals, whatever you're doing. You're all personal brands. People, like I always say, लोग लोगों के साथ काम करना चाहते हैं, लोगों के साथ नहीं. People like to work with people, not with logos of the company. So you are personal brands. Every single person has a story. Everybody has everyday experiences. You can put on your camera phone, your cell phone, and just talk every day. My name is Avi Arya. Like I always say, put a hero story. Make sure that people understand who you are. They remember you for your personal hobbies, traits, and your family values. At the beginning of and end of every video, I say, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, a streetcar racer turned hotelier, now social media marketer and founder of Internet Moguls, a company that helps hospitality companies drive revenue from all over the world. That I say in the beginning and end of every video. That's just one way of giving your hero introduction. So there are multiple formats, but in this short 60-minute crash course, I built a short crash course and I put this over here. And this is just my way of, supporting HHC and all the amazing members to give you this. And maybe Taran, next time we can do some kind of a contest or something around anybody who finishes the creating the videos and posting their videos online, they get a special benefit or something, because action takers and implementers will always be rewarded, by whoever. So I'm just putting that in the comment box.
Sure.
And
Sure, Avi, we will definitely create something around it as a masterclass also going forward, because that is the need of the hour. And we will do it together. Okay, now I'll just take my last question, because there are a lot of queries in the, which people have put in the chat, which we would like to take up. But before that, just the last question, coming back to the most important thing on training, because training of today's hotel teams to get digitally ready. I think, Avijit, you wanted to throw some light on that, because that is the most important today. How important it is and how we need to get them trained, and they need to feel the need to get trained.
Yes, absolutely. See, the best part about training is, so we've been doing trainings for a long time. Like I was saying, I honestly tell you the story of my first training. There were 4 people who landed up, and one of them was from my team. The other one was the photographer I was with, and 2 people from the client side. Because they were like, internet marketing ki training kisko chahiye? I mean, this was about 10 years ago. Now people come for trainings. They want to understand how it works and all of that, because from the CFO, CEO, general manager, restaurant manager to up, top and bottom, everybody understands that the smarter I get on social media, the more my own personal growth is related. There are stewards all around the world. There are restaurant managers. There are chefs. Today, everybody realizes that a chef was the first person in the hospitality industry to understand, if I become a rock star online, start my YouTube channel, become a personal brand, I can demand whatever I want and go to any restaurant and do whatever and get paid for taking pictures with pastries in the middle of the night. But what about the other people? Where are the celebrity GMs? Where are the celebrity front office managers? Where are the celebrity housekeeping managers? Every single human being has an opportunity today. Where are the celebrity, sort of digital marketers or professional PR people? All of, when I say celebrity, means people who are adding value to other people's lives, and in turn they get the love and support of other people, which we measure in terms of followers sometimes. So training is supremely important to stay relevant. अब ये बात मैं करता था जनवरी तक. January के बाद, when we went through this pandemic, or when we're going through this pandemic, today I am certain the clients that I'm talking to, they want one person who knows it all. They themselves know that those people are far and few in between. So what's going to happen to everybody else? People are not getting jobs because the ownerships or the companies are looking at people who can drive revenue through different channels. Doesn't matter what role you're in. If you're a
Yeah.
steward and you're serving chai in the VIP lounge of a 5-star hotel, you can drive revenue. We all know that. All the VIP customers who are coming to to a Taj or a Oberoi or any the stewards there are well trained. When they go back, they know how to serve a customer. They come back with the same name saying कि वो कहाँ गया, वो पिछली बार मैं उसी के चक्कर में आया. I was interviewing the GM of Imperial of last year, and he said कि we have people who are working with us for the last 20-30 years, and because of their service, people are coming back. However, these people who are bringing our guests back by giving impeccable service, they too need to be told how to take a review for a review channel. How to get your customer who's extremely happy with you. He may not do something for the GM or the owner, but he'll do it for you. So how do you teach that person to leverage his, clout and take that message online?
That's
He can
true.
ask the guest to put a video online. So
Yeah.
training ऊपर से नीचे हर level पे, this is the monetization training. It should not be called digital marketing training, because 10 साल पहले digital को measure करना मुश्किल था. आज you can measure whatever money you're putting in, how it's coming out. So this could be called monetization training, and every hospitality company should have it. However, ये बात खत्म करने से पहले मैं एक चीज ये कहना चाहता हूँ. We should not only depend. If my company is not getting me trained, I'm not training myself. There are enough and more YouTube videos out there which are all free. Go and invest your time, watch those videos, and train yourselves. And
That's so important because, apart from being a company relevant to the times, you yourself have to be relevant with the time. So independent of the company also, you need to be relevant. At the same time, top to bottom, I think is very important learning, because the management may allow, may not allow you to be personal brands. I think Ranjita and me, we were discussing that, because, even if you want to be you are capable of being a brand, the companies somehow are not educated enough to let you free to create yourself in a free manner. Because end of the day, you are actually you're a part of an organization. So end of the day, you will still represent an organization. So personal brands together make an organization. This has to be realized by the top heads, and let their teams go forward and do the best which they can in the market, because that will also bind, engage, and drive revenues, I would say. Am I right, Ranjita? This is what we discussed.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
it's slowly but surely, Taran, like how Avi was just mentioning, how it's important for the coups and business heads to get into this phase of digital marketing. They've slowly realized that I think it'll take more time, but I think they're getting there. They do
Yeah.
understand now, and they have to now be supportive of everyone's role, whether it's a chef or whether it's a PR person or a front office person, who's giving out interviews, and I think showcasing the best of their skill set, because I think this is what the guest and the audience we're targeting is also looking for, because they
True.
would rather go to a hotel or resort where they know who this front office head is or what his capabilities are. How can he give a wow experience, or she can give a wow experience?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and whether it's a back end or a front office, or an operations team, I think it
Yeah.
goes.
So, influencers, collaborations, all that we are doing with our internal stakeholders. But at the same time, if you actually think back, of course, all our marketing budgets have been paused, and so are we doing more of internal stakeholders advocating our social media likes and stuff like that. But end of the day, we know that tomorrow, when the good times come, we need to have influencers from the market, because otherwise, that trust and credibility within the company is one way of looking at things. But then the trust and credibility is only when others talk about you and not you yourself. So to kind of take us through, I think, Dheeraj, can you just, so Adversify is our brand association partner. I would just take a step forward and ask Kushal to just speak and exchange some thoughts on it for 5 minutes, and then we take up the question and answer. Over to you, Kushal.
Thank you, Tarun. Hello, everyone. I'm Kushal Gupta from Adversify. It's a 10-year-old brand in the market, serving more than 1,200 brands till now. So I'm here to explain a little about the influencer marketing. The topic today was about marketing and putting up videos and a self brand that we were talking about, right? So it is a supportive tool that is being used recently for the past 3-4 years, and people are building their own brands, making themselves a brand. So influencers are basically the people who have spent time building their own brand and cultivating their audience for the betterment of the brands. Right. So the new and the existing brands are already inviting these influencers to reach their organically built audiences. There's a concept, there's a really good concept by the name, it is called market it without really marketing it. So influencer is a concept in which people are visiting the hotels and restaurants or promoting the new brands, but they are doing it in a very indirect way. They are asking people to use the brand. They are showcasing people that what they are using, or probably you would say that a new face wash is coming in the market, or supposedly a new cookie in the market is coming, and people are asking what you are eating what are you taking as a diet, or what are you using on your face that is glowing. So they are simply showcasing the product itself, or probably if an influencer or a person is traveling somewhere, he or she might be influencing 10 or 15 people eventually,
Right.
if they're liking the location or anything. So influencer marketing is helping a lot in that. These are few of the examples. Uh, this is an influencer who is promoting hotel breakfast. Uh, One more example I would show. This is also influencer showcasing herself in the room of a hotel, or she's showcasing the environment of the hotel in this one. So what I have to offer, these are the categories that I deal into, as in these are the category of the influencer, few categories of the influencers I have with me right now. And it can be a fashion influencer, or photography, or food, or technology. And what I have to offer is that I can bring in influencers at any place, like in any hotel or any restaurant, promoting a brand, or probably promoting a product or anything. So it is usually a costly process, but for the HHC, I'm doing it for 10,000 only right now. I can bring in and facilitate these influencers at 10,000. Also, other than that, these activities support the marketing and website activity, or the bringing the traffic on the website. So I have other offers as well, which are yes. So this is a social media package. This is a very basic social media package that I'm offering right now for 15K per month. This involves 8 creatives, 2 GIFs, and 2 videos. We were talking about videos right now. So the posting and managing the ORM and content creation will be done by us on that. Also, major hashtags or creating trends, or putting up campaigns will be involved in this. Other than that, I have if anyone owns a website, I can do a health check of it, or my company can help you uh, find the things which are lacking in your website, probably a notification bar, or probably something that needs to be there and it is not there right now, and checking the ranking of the website, at how it is going, whether the site is secured or not. These are the few things that we check when doing a health check of a website. These are my contact details. If anyone is interested or anyone wants to know more about influencer marketing, I can help it. Other than that, I have collaboration with more than 1,700 influencers with me, which is one of the biggest network in Delhi and Mumbai. So if anyone needs any more details or want to know about it, he or she can contact. Thank you.
Thank you, Kushal. Thank you. That was informative. Over to
Here I
all the
would like
participants.
to pitch in.
Yeah.
So when it comes to influencer marketing, it is very important to choose the right kind of influencer that matches the profile of your brand.
Yeah.
For example, someone might be a great street food food blogger who covers extensively about street food, but it is not necessary that that person is apt for a fine dine restaurant. Similarly, even an influencer with say 10 or 20K followers, but having the kind of writing style, the kind of followers, the kind of engagement, it is very important. Because a lot of times what I see is that we see 100K on the influencers page and we invite them, but the kind of content that is coming is just a picture or just one word about it. So it is very important for us to assess that if the post is going, what kind of content is that influencer writing, number one, what kind of hashtags and what kind of comments is the influencer attracting. For example, if it's a fashion blog, and if the person if we invite a fashion influencer to our room for a staycation, and the person is staying at your property and she posts a photo with all the food, and if the people are commenting very beautiful, very nice, you're looking very nice, because these are the kinds of comments that come.
Right.
So it is very important to see that the profile of the influencer, the way
Yeah,
it
so
should be matching our hotel
absolutely.
personality.
So the theme, as you well said, Somali, so any theme which you want to be written by an influencer, of course, Kushal's company gives you the profiling and you need to choose it, and he will give you the entire data around it. You know, that's how the survey or the research around the influencer is very, very important. Otherwise, what you want, your objectives will not be met. You know, that is very important for you to get into it and, you know all about who that influencer is and what is the impact that person will leave. Right? Thank you. I would request all the participants, because I can see a lot of questions. So, Dheeraj, I think we can take 3 questions and we can unmute, they can unmute and ask the question directly.
Like I said, sorry, I would have to, excuse myself. I wanted to say thank you very much. I'll just take 1 minute before I leave all of you with your question Q&A. Thank you very much, all of you, for your time. And thank you, Darshini. Thank you, Dheeraj. Thank you, Taran, for creating HHC. I think it's a great endeavor. Definitely very nice. Thank you, Mr. Bindra, for supporting all of us over here. And great speaking with you, Ranjita, Somali. All of you people learned a lot. I've taken some notes as well. Before I leave, I just wanted to say one thing. If there's any question that I've not been able to answer, I put a post on my LinkedIn about HHC. Just go to LinkedIn, just comment on the last post, and I will pick up your question from there and I will answer all of them back. Right now, 17 people from all of you have downloaded the 60-minute video that I sent. I'm just putting the link again in the chat. If you can just take 30 seconds to download because at the end of this, once Taran finishes the session, the link is going to expire. So because it's only because what I've seen is people take action, they get results, and most people don't take action. So I'm urging all of you people to take action. It's a short 60-minute video, and it's like a crash course that I built for every person in the hospitality industry who wants to create videos. So it's 60 minutes. You can watch it whenever you want, but I would just urge you to download it in the next couple of seconds, 30 seconds or so that you have the link with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Arya. Anybody has questions for him, as he said, you can just put it on his LinkedIn. And otherwise, we have the ladies here who can answer the rest. So,
right. Thank you, Taran. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. Thanks a lot. So we'll stay in touch. Thank you. Okay. I would request the participants to just unmute and ask your questions, please, because we can see a couple of questions in the chat box. Request if you can unmute and ask the question directly to the ladies.
You need to raise your hands if you want to get yourself unmuted. I'll unmute you from here. You can you can press the raise hand button on the Zoom, or you can type your question in the chat box.
So Aman had a question. Aman, would you like to ask? I can see a question by him. Can we request everybody who has questions to just put it in the chat again? We will unmute you and you can ask the question directly.
Raman, you can ask the question if you want.
Yeah, just a second. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So my question was basically to the marketing team of, the hotels. I think most of the panelists are connected with that. So is basically, during this time when, staycations do form a large part, of the revenue because, uh, of course, I agree about the wedding sector also now getting hot, but staycations people are looking forward because so now because since they are contributing a lot of revenue, how do hotels effectively differentiate themselves through social media marketing at this time, especially when the story that you talk about, Mr. Avi said, and the lady at Crown Plaza Okla also said about the story that you talk about is relegated to the background, and its story is no longer the hero because right now, apart from being COVID ready, which anyway every hotel is talking about, uh, it's about what service, because now the serving is done in rooms only, right? The gyms and
Yes.
pools are closed, and the fine dining is also not really open except probably one. So how would you, apart from just now at the influencer marketing person said, yes, one way is that you can post some kind of of the food, etc., but how else can you differentiate? Have the hotels, all the five-star hotels,
Sure.
come at par now? How would you attract a lot of people? There are a lot of people in my circle who want to go to staycations, but they're all saying just one thing, that there's no point, because so how would you attract such an audience?
Right. Dheeraj, can you just remove the slide, please, so that whoever is answering is on a spotlight? Thank you. Who will take up this question, please?
Should I start, Somali? And
Yeah, please, please, please.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
You start, then I'll continue.
Yeah, sure. So, Aman, thanks for your question. I'd just like to tell you that actually the restaurants are open. And, apart from every hotel taking up the stringent programs that I think each brand is starting off with and has started off with, like Roseate has the Care by Roseate. It's not just about the staycation, it's also about the dining from the check-in to check-out. Right now, it's the guest confidence, I think, and the fact that they're so apprehensive.
Correct.
Is what one needs to tackle. And I think this started off when the lockdown ceased, probably end of August or beginning of August. I'd like to also mention, Aman, that, innovation is also the key. Now, apart from giving you the touchless experience, contactless dining, paying from directly from the app, there's something called a live kitchen access that we started at Roseate Hotel. So what happens is, when you're actually driving to the hotel, whether it's for your dining or whether you're staying with us, you can at any point of time look at the chefs preparing your meal. Okay, whether it's a pasta, whether it's an Indian dish, you can actually see that at any point. Now, things like these, apart from the stringent processes that you're taking, whether it's sanitation, safety protocols, certifications also help. Because we're talking about digital marketing, we also do like to put forward that we are, the only hotel in India to be FSSC certified, or if there's any accreditations or food safety guidelines that you followed, and any other, for example, the Bureau Veritas safeguard label is something that you should look at. Now, these things should actually be showcased, and you should be proud of it as a brand. And I think hotels are doing that now. And guests need to also keep themselves updated, probably go to the, not only the website, but if you go to their social media platforms, I think all the hotels, especially the 5-star and luxury hotels, are doing it. And each one has something to, share, not just the staycation, there are more experiences and everything. Like you said, the pool and gym is closed. The pool is obviously closed for some time now, but the dining experience, the check-in experience, and the other, club membership, all of that is still open. And you'll just have to get that confidence. Like, I'll give you an example. Takeaway was big during the lockdown, and guests preferred actually ordering from the hotel directly instead of an aggregator. they actually preferred ordering, directly from the hotel for their favorite meal instead of going for one of the delivery partners, because they had that faith that, we're already following all the protocols. And now with the pandemic, we've actually upped the game in terms of safety guidelines and sanitation procedures. So I think that would help in, I think Somali and Darshni can add on to points.
Sure.
I
Thank
think
you.
with festive season approaching and simultaneously the long weekends, the concept of re- revenge tourism will see a hike, because there have been a lot of people who had to cancel their vacations. There have been a lot of people who have been sitting at their homes due to prolonged lockdowns. So now, when I talk about staycation, since the domestic market has already opened up, interstate travel is possible. So winners don't do different things, they do things differently. So whenever, first of all, it's about curating innovative concepts. So with value added propositions, when I say value added propositions, it is very important to create something unique, because every hotel has created a staycation package, and the price war is so high that, one day the person is giving a staycation at 5K, another day the competitor comes down to 4,500. So it is
Right.
very important to create some interesting dining experiences, in-room surprises, some activities for the people, so that this staycation or this getaway is a therapy for them, which is much needed right now. Secondly, when it comes to messaging, the content part of it, I would say social media works on a very simple principle of connectability, relatability. So, if there are people who've been sitting at home, they have not been able to travel out. So the messaging could be, a family staycation, or the kind of pictures, the kind of concepts. There might be people who've been working from home for the past 6 months, and for next 1 year, they will still be working from their homes. So then, you have to give a little bit of aspirational aspect to the concepts like work from a view, workations. Then, so these are the kind of things we have to pull up the real time challenges and issues of people and target that, but very sensitively, because we also need to understand that the financial condition of a lot of people may not be that good. So it shouldn't be a teasing poster, but it should be something inspiring that encourages
Yeah.
them to, okay, let's take a break, let's have this escapism getaway for themselves.
Yeah, and I think all this has to be packaged with formidable, memorable experience. Because after lockdown, almost for more than 6 months now, you've been under shutdown, and people who have been very used to traveling, the moment they're stepping out into the hotels, that experiential memory has to be created by the properties, because that will stay with them for the next few months, probably. I think Aman, have we answered, or Darshini, you have something to add,
just
because
want
we'll take
to-
more questions also.
Yes, I just want to add something really brief over here, answering Aman's question. I think it's all about hotels kind of catering to different segments. Staycations would probably be for young couples and families who just want to get out of their homes. And while catering to, to people who've been working from home is also important. So workations, where we try to get people outside their homes and give them experiences within the hotel, assuring them of safety, hygiene, and everything else. And even for staycations, like we at the Park Chennai have come up with things which give young couples or families an opportunity to enjoy not just the four walls of their hotel room. It's about creating like a private movie theater concept where it's just a couple and probably kids, where you enjoy a whole screening room all by yourself with like a private movie within the hotel premises with popcorn and the whole movie effect, considering something like going to a movie is so far-fetched these days. So curating experiences or a picnic in the room is something that we've had at the park, which is very well received. And it's something that people come back for and enjoy, whether, if it's for just a day-long stay or an overnight stay for a vacation or a staycation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Look
Thank you,
forward.
Darshini. Thank you for this input which your property is doing, and thanks to the other panel, Somali and Ranjita as well. Can we, I think Aman, it answered your query.
Yes, thank you so much.
So, you're welcome. Can we take one more question before we wind up? I'm sorry, we've taken about 7 minutes more than promised. We apologize for it, but I guess it became very engaging. So we can take one more question.
Ms. Fani, can you hear me? You can take your question.
Yeah, namaskar everyone. I would
Namaskar.
just give a brief introduction. I'm working as a Marcom manager with the Surya Hotel with with Mr. Bindra sir itself. So I would just like to know an answer to a typical question which I've been being asked since ages now. As I was also before joining Surya, I was heading a social media agency also. So every time when we used to have a client in any, let's say in any industry, or let's in any way, in whatever way industry they were, they always used to ask us one thing: what business, or let's say what kind of conversions or the clientele social media would provide us. Now I would really honestly tell them that social media has always been a window to tell people that you do really exist as a brand. But then also till now, what I feel is it's very difficult to convince people about how social media can be helpful for their brand. So honestly, I would like to know a very answer, a convincing answer, what we can actually tell people, how social media helps a brand to grow or get even a business, or let's say even get the customer in their premises or in their hotels and for their business.
Sure. Who would like to take this up?
So
Ranjita? Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Go
yeah,
ahead, go ahead.
Darshini. Darshini, please go ahead.
All right. So one thing is, I think, to understand your target audience in the first place. I think that's the first step. Like, if we are targeting, if we want to have a nightlife event at our hotel, and if I want to get through to the younger generation or the partying generation, it's important to put out content that would appeal to them. And it's not something that can happen overnight, I think. It's about generating content that appeals to people of that age group. And these days, social media platforms have become so versatile that you can, if you want, like Mr. Avi was saying, if you want someone who's interested in golf, or someone who's interested in happy hours or dancing or nightclubs, you can target your audience, and kind of filter it out using social media itself. And possibly having different pages on social media for different products of your hotel or your service is probably something also I think is quite crucial, so that you can, you're not just operating one generic page and reaching out to, people who are like, have varied interests, but have separate pages catering to different, segments of your virtual audience. So I think that's something that's worked. And to just give you a quick example, we did something that really worked well for us. We during the whole lockdown, we actually on the 15th of May, we celebrated our 18th anniversary. And usually otherwise it would be a very grand affair. There would be a large cake cutting and champagne and, inviting guests, having several DJs performing across various of our venues and things like that. And we really wondered how we could recreate a celebration of that kind to kind of celebrate a milestone of that sort virtually. And we anyway took the plunge, and we programmed different things, had live sessions from different pages from our nightlife platforms. And we had live bands, we had DJs, all of that, people like DJs logging in from their own homes and, creating this whole different vibe that suited their music type. And we realized that something like that really, it didn't really just cater to the people who came to our bars, but we kind of created that whole environment of celebration across all our pages. And those who enjoyed nightlife moved to the nightlife spots, tuned in, and we had a wonderful conversion online. It really felt like a celebration in a very different way, you know. So it's about
That's
catering to different
exciting.
things.
Yeah.
So that's just something small I like to share, and it creates engagement. It's all about creating
It's very
content that
nice
engages.
because what
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, and with the right segmentation and customer profiling, Darshini, because that's what you did actually.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Am I audible?
I would like to add something here. So, Miss Vani, it was beautifully explained by Darshini.
Am I audible?
Your
Yeah.
voice
So I'm
is
saying, yeah,
slightly
whatever you said
breaking.
with the right segmentation and customer profiling.
Absolutely, yes.
Right. So just to add on to that, you know how it works. So there was a question that how it works. So how it works is that, you know, if I am planning a hotel vacation, probably in a new city, if I'm planning a tour for Mumbai or Chennai or any other city, I would not search the hotel at that time. So my social media pages would actually tell me in past 6 months, okay, which post I have seen most, and whatever the hotel is there in my eyes, whatever I have actually seen on the social media, I would immediately book the room in that particular hotel, and that is how it works. So it is a gradual process. As Darshini said, it's not immediate, but yes, it's a slow process, but you would build your own community.
Okay, but I have a question for all the hotel teams, that if you can trust the cold calling by sales team with no definite business coming back, why can't you trust the well strategized and well communicated thought of message from the social media pages? Having said that, there are certain ways to measure to see if our messagings are actually effective or not. If I talk about the lead generation campaigns, it gives us an opportunity to actually, you know, have an ad on the feed of our target audience, which we can customize by age, by the location, by their interest, all of that. Then they can, anybody who shows interest can put up their numbers, and we can actually get a proper list of all the people who have showed interest. Say for example, if I'm having a food festival and I put up a distance of 5 kilometers from my hotel, so I can actually get a list of people who have shown interest, and then probably your F&B team or your sales team can do a follow-up call and reserve them for their dining experience. Similarly, probably next time when we do a post on a social media, we can put up a small promotion that, you know, if you show this post when you avail our services, when you go dining for the restaurant and when you're going to take our spa services, take a 5% additional off. So now that way, you know, people will understand, because a lot of times, you know, when a person goes and buys a Pepsi or a Coke, we don't know if the person has seen an ad on social media or a TV ad or something. So it is like top of mind awareness is the first thing. An official announcement is the first thing. That is why we have social media channels to engage with the brand. To be always there on the top of mind awareness is one thing. Then we should use targeted ads, targeted customized ads, to be able to convert them into footfalls, is what I think.
Very right, Somali. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thankfully. All right. So, you know, very rightly said, we have actually built a complete tea community. I'm not audible?
No, Tarun,
You
I
are.
just want to add a line actually, just to what and that before you conclude. You know, Vani, I understand your question was more on, you know, how you could convince. Apart from the ways, you should just tell your client that it's all ROI driven now. You know, with digital marketing, you can give them numbers through the analytics that have already been explained by Somali and Dashni, and you know how you can showcase that best in as per the client's requirement, and it can be tailor-made. That's all that you need to do, and I think every client or stakeholder is only interested about the ROI. And if you can show that and give them an end result, I think that works. And that's what digital marketing is going to do for you.
Yeah. That's right. That's very well said. And that is the same thing which I was actually about to say, that your segmentation and customer profiling is all possible on the digital space with, you know, absolutely analysis which you can then do, you know, at the end of a particular promotion or whatever you're doing, you have a certain period of time, you can create that analysis and create ROIs. You know, honestly, HHC has built a complete tea community with lead generation, you know, because we have actually caught hold of the community which loves tea, and we have done a lot of activities around them. So all that is possible, but I think, you know, all this education should not be parked only with the communication team of the hotel. You know, as Avi also said, in all of you individual spaces, we believe that everybody down the line, you know, they should be taught out of our pressures. So that education is very important. And I think that training and skill development for the digital arena is very, very important down the line. The F&B should know how it works. The revenue guys should know how it works, so on and so forth. It should not be parked only with us as brand custodians. So taking that forward, I think we are very thankful that you all have spent a lot of time today and been with us, invested a lot of your personal time. And we have actually taken 13 minutes beyond our promise, but I think it was very, very engaging, and so we were all together here. So thank you so much, and I would request all our participants, if you have further questions, you can always look forward to more engagements in times to come, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we would want some responses in the chat box, or you can email it to us how you like this episode and further questions to it. Thank you, Darshini. Thank you, Somali. Thank you, Ranjita, for all
so
your
much.
time which you have invested with
Thank you all of you for being there.
We look forward to a very strong kind of bonding with HHC.
Thank you so much, Taran. Thank you.
Thank you, Taran. Really look forward to connecting with you in the long
Dheeraj, you
term
can
as well.
just sum it up. Yeah.
Right. So it was a wonderful session, and I would like to thank
Great evening. Thank you so much.
I would like to
Sure.
all the speakers
Absolutely.
as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
and
much.
I'd like to see you again. Bye bye. Take
See
care.
you all.
Bye bye.
Bye.